Howdy, howdy, howdy. Okay, today it's going to be a quick one today. It's going to be a Q&A with myself and the lovely, the beautiful Bruce Poppy. And first, let's just do some business. Go to screwbiggov.com if you want to find everything that's screwbiggov. Remember your oath, freedom in action, all the films, swag, yada, 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 yada. You can possibly name. It's all right there. And let's give a real quick shout out to our sponsor, Midas Gold Group, and Matt, wonderful dude, right there. He's on the screen. You can go to MidasGoldGroup.com, ask for Matt, or you can actually call him also at, I don't know, 480 something, whatever. Sorry, Matt. Let's just go to MidasGoldGroup.com for right now. And without further ado, hey, like, follow, share, yada, yada, yada. Our numbers are dropping on Rumble again, 200 at a time. They're at it once again, which means we are being attacked, which also means if you are subscribed to Rumble, you may have been unsubscribed. I can tell you today, working with Rumble, it was a pain in the butt. Lisa tried to schedule this thing so many times. I try to get it on. Other people are saying the same thing. So according to Rumble, these attacks are from outside, not from within inside. Let's bring on my lovely co-host today, Bruce Poppy.
Hey,
Hola, Bruce.
greetings and salutations, all. It's been a little bit of while. I've been on a little hiatus, a little separation from the bizarro world, taking some time to recenter myself, get back in the Zen zone.
It really is bizarro world, isn't it? It's just if you're watching X or watching the news or Facebook, it's unless you really have some type of clue, you can get confused and sent in the wrong direction and ride that roller coaster. I don't know if you have, but that's what I see. It's really tough.
Well, you can't trust anything. I mean, one thing I have taken a step is I went ahead. I deleted my Facebook. I'm
Mm.
done. I'm done playing. I'm pulling out of the matrix. One more, one little more step that I'm pulling myself out of the matrix. It was serving me no purpose other. I mean, live streaming, but it was huge echo chamber, and I just didn't feel it was. It was time. I just felt led. It's time to pull a little bit because that's what we're doing right now. We gotta until something major happens, changes. We got to pull ourselves out of the matrix as much as possible. And we're still at this point where we got to live 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So that's what I've done. I deleted my Facebook and Instagram and anything Meta, Facebook Messenger. So if anybody's been trying to reach me, sorry, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, no, and I get it. It's because it's crazy. Now, I believe we're in a transition on purpose, and I've been saying it's going to get darker before the dawn, which it clearly seems like it is doing. But it's interesting because I truly feel there's a gray hat slash black hat operation. The white hats are we the people because we're being screwed with probably more by the so-called white hats, the gray hats, than we are the black hats right now. And I because they're clearly limiting messages and they have everything. And then suddenly there's a revelation that Trump releases a letter all of a sudden that exonerates him with the Stormy Daniels saying, well, I'm sorry, that's been going around for over 2 years.
Yeah, that's an old letter. When everybody was all got their panties, oh, they're so excited. I was like, that's old.
Right. So, but that's proof that there is a plan because if we had it 3 years ago, he had it 3 or 4 years ago. You know what I mean? So that's absolute unequivocal proof. But when I say their team, which would, I'm going to offend some people, which would include Jesse Waters, which would include Tucker Carlson, which would include Steve Bannon, Joe Rogan, all these people have had all this information for a long time. I know because I've been doing this for several years, and for at least the last 4 years, I've had most of the information and I've been talking about it live, right? So what I see though is if we are ahead of the narrative, it's very clear that our message is being suppressed.
Oh,
Very.
absolutely.
But if you're with the narrative, now you can even put stuff out on YouTube. What? It's it's crazy. it is
That is mind blowing. I mean,
it,
I can't hardly keep a YouTube channel. I'm on my eighth one. I'm
right.
probably close to deleting that thing. I haven't put any content on it because I can't hold my tongue. I can't talk in code. I can't, I've tried, um, but I just can't. And I'm in this transition myself personally, to do something different, to try to bring more value in a different way to we the people. And that's where I believe God has taken me, or
Yeah.
God, creator, source, however you want to name it.
I love it. I love it. So here's what the solace I get. So because if I took this stuff personal, I would have gotten off a long time ago, and I can't. I just said, okay, let the gray hats do their plan, and I'm going to do my plan. And my plan is to listen to God and do all my work for we the people. That's it. If we don't get traction, we don't get traction. Clearly, that's not God's timing, and I'm cool with that, right? But I'm not going to have somebody direct me and tell me what to do and put out certain things. And it's very clear that all the people I just prior mentioned, all those large so-called celebrity type podcasters, they've had. I had this with Robert. Robert would always talk about Steve Bannon this and Steve Bannon this, and I'm like, no. And I'm not saying that Robert believed it, but I go, no, but he's had this narrative, he's had this stuff in his back pocket for a long time, and they roll it out at a certain timing. And I get it. If that's the plan, because you have to acclimate people to it, that's fine. But I'm just not going to get sucked up into that. So that's why you and I are kind of considered a little bit more rogue in the patriot movement, right, than others. But I would rather do that than lie to people. What's your thoughts?
100%. It's quite comical, to seeing you mentioned Bannon a couple of times. Even, X seems to be lots of people on X are just in the Patriot movement are getting roasted. Wasn't long ago, Bannon was outed allegedly as a scumbag, allegedly that he tried to throw Trump under the bus. If you go and read the transcripts of his deal or something, when he was going through court for his subpoena deal, that he threw Trump under the bus. So who knows what's going on? I mean, I just take all the information, file it, and then go where I feel I'm led to go.
Yep.
Yeah. You can't trust and can't hardly believe anything anymore. I mean, I mean, with some of these AI stuff, these
Whew.
deep fake, video, you can't even trust, what you see right in front of your face. So that's why it's so important, to make sure that where you're getting your source of truth from. That's why I talked about, on my show all the times, how we get through this whole situation is through connections. And the number one connection is connected to source. Number two, getting connected to yourself. And number three connection is getting connected to other people. And if you can do all those things in the proper manner, that we're going to get through this. I mean, I have no doubt. I'm not negative. I have a very positive outlook, but I'm kind of a little bit, frustrated. I've always been that guy that just, I got this over here, my 500-pound, my gorilla in the corner. I'm always willing to talk about the 500-pound gorilla in the room. Hey man, let's lay this stuff out on the table. And so just recently on X, there was somebody that another for having an event, charging money, and somehow I got mentioned in the thing, and somebody jumped on there, was defending me. Says, yeah, it's not Bruce Poppy. He's a good guy. So he's, this person said, I've warned some of the connections that he had around him, but he's a good person. So I mean, it's all over the place.
Right. And we're gonna get into questions and answers right here. So if you can, in the chat today, this is a little bit different format than you may be used to. You have to type them in now. If you've already had it before, cut, paste it, whatever. Type them in all capital letters in the chat, and Bruce and I will get to it. Bruce, in reference to people making money on events, I think I can actually state that I have more information on this than anybody else in the world.
Because you've run a shit ton of events, and you know what it's like.
More by far than anybody. In fact, if you take all the events together, we ran 77 in 17 months, right? If you take all the other event coordinators, they combined, they probably haven't done 77. Why am I saying this? I'm surprisingly going to defend some of them. We've lost well over $100,000, my wife and I, doing these 77 events. I look at the pricing on a lot of these, and I'm like, they're not making money. You know what I mean? I can tell you. And I've heard many of people, they try an event one or two times and they take it in the shorts and you'll never see them do another event, right?
Right.
Because they think they can at least break even on it and then they find out that they just get their asses kicked, right? In fact, I'm going to be at an event in June in Florida. It's the Quantum Summit. It's at Quantum Summit 1776, and I've looked at the pricing on there, and I can tell you based on my knowledge, a 2-day event like that, they're probably not going to make any money, right? But of course, people are coming after them as if they're making money, and they're doing the same thing to another event where some high level truthers are at, and I'm like, if you even have a chance, you got to put over 1,000 people in a room to probably break even in most cases. That's how expensive these event centers are, and coordinating it. So my goal is not, and by the way, I don't like some of the people that put on events. They're total assholes, to be honest with you. But in general, I like to be honest and say, you know what? They're most of them, except that big one, are not making a bunch of money, and that big one makes a fortune. We can
Correct the
assume.
mundo. We don't even have to mention it.
No, 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 and they do. They make an absolute fortune, but that's their deal. Um, let's bring up our first question from. Here we go. Let's see if I got this. I got to put it up on a different page. Oh, she already did. Thank you, Lisa. All right. This is from one of our favorites. In fact, she will be on the Truthathon coming up here soon. In fact, Saturday. It's going to be an awesome event. We're going to talk about that a little bit here. But here's the question. What do people pay for a 2-hour concert or sports event? It's a great question, Carol. Yeah. Isn't that a great question? Well, the last event, a play I went to, and I think it was $149 a pop for 2 hours,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, that's a great question. They're expensive. It is what it is. And the whole Patriot thing, I'm having a big, huge issue with, and it's not because we have some sponsors. Trust me. But if people understood the time and money that it takes to do what we do, and the fact that people they can opt. So if somebody has a paywall, I don't like paywalls. I don't agree with paywalls. That's just me. I have friends that have paywalls. It's not my thing. I believe all the information should be free, and if they want to purchase a product, that is up to them. So I believe in ethically just giving the best product you can, and if somebody purchases it, it's a win for everybody. That's the ethical way to do it. But many people would probably still call me a patriot, which is if you just knew the bulk of my work that I've done, I think that's ludicrous. But whatever, it is what it is. I think we jump too quickly towards that. When you shut down your whole life, like a lot of these podcasters have done, they're still going to have to pay some bills.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is a contingent of people in the movement that have moved into podcasting being a career choice.
That's right.
And so, I mean, I don't fault people for trying to make a living, but you can tell anybody with half a brain in one eye and any kind of intuition discernment can tell when somebody's kind of grifting them.
Yes.
And that's the big word that's running around. Oh, it's a bunch of grifters, making money off of the movement, blah blah, this and that and the other. But
And
that's just
there are some,
well, oh, 100%,
for
100%.
sure. For sure. You've exposed one of them before. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, and they're just and like I said, you can tell, and it's not even worth spending time on. That's just if you don't like what they put out, if you like what they put out and you're willing to pay them, hey, that's on you.
Yep.
But I just can't go there, myself. Just like Lewis, I can share things that have helped me, and if I get a little cha-ching on the back end for helping create some business for a company, nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's the whole. That's that we're capitalists, right? We're conservative capitalists. So yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm selling stuff, Trump dollars I'm telling people it's going to be, you buy it for 20 cents today, it's going to be worth $5 million tomorrow. That type. I'm not. So, you just got to use your discernment and judgment. And we know Lewis and I have had these many conversations gone through in the past that they're transitioning. We're moving from, the, and God gave me the thing, in the Bible even talks about when the young ones, babies, they get milk, right? And as you get older, you move up to meat. Well, I believe we, as the Patriot movement, 4 years now, there's a large contingent that are growing older and gaining more wisdom, and they're not buying into the meat, the milk that's being put out for the newbies that are coming on board. And so they're getting frustrated. They're not getting the meat that they need. And quite honestly, a lot of people aren't willing to take on the work to do themselves, but that's a whole other story.
Yep.
Um,
I agree.
but
Hey, Bruce, real quick, we have to be a little short on our answers just because of our time constraints today.
your mic went crazy.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
now, yeah,
Okay. We have to be a little shorter on our
yeah,
answers
yeah. Okay, go, go.
just because of our
Good.
time constraint
Right, right.
today. All right. Next up. Um, okay. It says Michelle Moore is spouting a lot of B. Okay. That's, by the way, this is a question. So when you try to clip this and throw me under the bus, this is a question. And the question is Michelle Moore is spouting a lot of BS. Scott McKay, General Flynn, Clay Clark. What are your thoughts on this? My thoughts are really quick. I don't dive into the drama. I have seen some accounts that were doing good work, and the next thing you know, all they do is try to expose patriots. Um, I believe we should find some form of unity moving forward, and I don't get. I believe there's a dark force around right now, and who this really serves the most is the darkness, because what it does is you people would be me, Bruce, and everybody watching are they're trying to get us to pick a side, and that's division. And then what you'll do is great example. Flynn would be the greatest example I see. If I say something good about Flynn, I get hate mail. If I say something bad about Flynn, I get hate mail, right? Because people have jumped in their camps and they're not open to anything else, and it has to be this. And if you believe one way, I don't like you anymore. Guys, that's what got us here in the first place. You sure you want to keep going down that road? I don't.
Yep, I'm with you 100%. I have no opinion, good, bad, or indifferent, one way or the other, until somebody trespasses against me. I let the stuff. I let it all come in and take. I don't pick a side. The side I'm on is on goodness. The side I'm on the side of humanity. I'm on the side of we the people, and those other people, they're going to pay their price one way or another.
Cool. Next question. Interesting one. What are your thoughts on moon landings and NASA and Space Force? You first, Bruce.
Well, moon landings are I call BS. Um, NASA, if you look up the Hebrew word, NASA actually means deception. Everybody knows, that the Project Paperclip, those were the Nazis that came over and all these different things. So I don't believe we've gone to the moon. Space Force, I think they're probably the good military on the background that's controlling everything. A while back, everybody remembers all communications was, kind of transferred over. So everything is running through Space Force at this point, I believe. So we'll see. They, it's kind of, you could tell when Bonehead Biden got in there, that what's her name, Peppermint Patty. They were joking, make it. Space Force is a joke. Trump created Space Force, and they were joking about it. So nobody's talking about Space Force. Hence, that's probably where all the good stuff is happening.
Yeah, I can't add much to that. The moon landing is completely fake. I mean, it's if anybody still believes it is, if they believe that Nixon in real time could be actually talking on a landline to the moon, but yet it still takes 10 to 15 seconds to get that signal from so-called space today, and they forgot how to get there. Just come on. Just go away. If you still believe that, just go away. It's so stupid at this point. I want somebody to understand this with NASA though, and I seem to be on an island with this, but I'm hoping this is penetrating the thoughts and minds of everybody. Okay, NASA gets about 67 to 70 billion dollars a year. So I can tell you, if $1 million is spent on a movie and they use CGI, you in most cases can't tell. But NASA gets 70 billion a year, and you always see them making mistakes. You see bubbles coming up from masks. You see wires when astronauts are flipping around. You see digital overlays in the background. So just consider this for a second. Maybe, just maybe, they want people to be divided. Well, is it round or is it flat? Hmm. Maybe they want that conversation because it's something completely different. All right, I know. I love just seeding everybody with stuff like that. Oh, this is for you, Bruce. Dun, dun, dun. How
I
is
do.
Esther coming along, Bruce? Any pick?
Esther is coming along fantastically.
Tell
Uh,
people who Esther is. There's some people that
Okay,
may
so
not
yeah,
know.
people who don't know, Esther on Truth Tour 1, Lewis and the team went through a myriad, I don't know how many, 4 or 5 different RVs, because they all had problems with this, problem with that. So they kept changing RVs. So they finally got one that was able to make it through almost all the way. Would have made it through Truth Tour 2, but he ended up leaving it. It was an RV. It's a 32-foot 1991 Fleetwood Southwind. And so he got an RV from Mickey Clan. So we had another one. We left that Esther. We called it, affectionately put a name on it, Esther. That's the one everybody you see in the Truth Tour 2, videos. That one, especially that movie that Mark put out. Most that's Esther there. So Lewis said, "Hey, let's auction it off." And then so Natalie had an account, and I had an idea. I said, well, "Let's just put a bid on it. Will help drive the price up for Lewis." Right? So I put the bid on the thing, and then we end up winning it. So now I own that RV, and everything runs great on the thing. I was doing some renovations, had the older paneling, oak, wood, this that 90s type feel to it. So I'm in the process of transforming it. It'll always be affectionately known as Esther, but I'm transforming it into We the People Mobile Command Center. So I redid the bathroom or redid the bedroom, and I'll share some pictures at some point. We don't have time today, but I do have some pictures. And then I decided to change the dining area to a dining area to an office, because I had to, long story, had to open a wall to add some wood so I could hang my screens in there to do live streaming from in the RV when we're on the road. And then one thing led to another, and so I tore out the entire dining area, and it's going to be an office. It's going to be epic. I can't wait for that project to be done. But yeah, that's Esther's coming along great. We're at end of April, middle of June. We'll be living in that thing full time. So that's our plan. But I'll
Very
I'll
cool.
share some pictures here very very soon.
Very cool. Folks, if you're asking questions, please put it in all caps or I will ignore it. Except for Alan Fountain, you get an exception. Speaking of Esther, folks, if you've ever heard me say, probably several times, that, hey, Bruce is up inside Esther, he's not cheating on his wife. I'm just being very clear about that.
Well, I mean, Natalie might. I spend a lot of time with Esther, and
Yes.
Natalie's a little jealous. So yeah,
Yeah, you spend a lot of time inside Esther. That is the truth.
and on top of it, and all
Oh, that's
across
right. You've
that.
been on top of it. Well, I was on top of Esther too with a few
Yeah.
times, so that's not good.
Well, it wasn't long ago. We were out in San Diego. You and I were underneath Esther. She was on
Oh,
top of
that's
us.
right. And she was spewing things all over me.
Uh,
Gasoline, if anybody wants to know.
yeah.
All right, let's go with Fountain of Truth Media. It says, question: if there's an alleged Jubilee currency revaluation coming as sold to patriots for 7 years, why are the leaders of the PSYOPs the largest grifters as if the world is ending? Great point. Okay, so Alan or anybody watching, what if both are true? What if they're not mutually exclusive? What if you have people completely grifting in regards to the Jubilee Nasara Jasara, and you have the fear porn people grifting also. I think they're both true. I've proven time and time again that the one of the original Nasara Jasara letters that were put out there with the 10 bullet points is that was the main one that all these patriots ran with. I've completely debunked that. That's false, fake. What do you call it, Bruce? False, fake, and what?
Fake, phony, and false, from like the Dave from X22 says.
Right, fake, phony, and false. So it is absolutely fake, phony, and false because I'm just going to give you two bullets really quick. One says you're going to get a monthly stipend, and the other one says we're going to be down to 1950s levels in real estate prices. The two cannot coincide within the same space and time. It's called the law of supply and demand. So that it completely debunks that. Now, is Nassar and Yassar true? I believe it is. I believe they are going to do some things with that, and they're going to pretty much get everybody on a level playing field, right? I don't know that there's going to be a big windfall. Now, when it comes to the Jubilee, a lot of this is regards to foreign currency, so on and so forth. My opinion, based on my knowledge, there might be something to the IQD. I've been studying it and used to be a featured writer on it. That's Iraqi dinar for several years. They can still screw that up too. I don't think it would revalue unless Trump is officially in office. That's my opinion. And there's a lot of markers that I'm not going to talk about now that need to happen for that to go. That being said, I don't feel much about the Zim and the Vietnam Dong because those happened in a completely different realm. People don't understand. It was a war that created the issue with the IQD, the Iraqi dinar. They try to duplicate what happened in Kuwait when it revalued. I know I'm talking fast, but I just want to get through it. The Vietnam Dong and the Zim from Zimbabwe are in completely different circumstances. So I have less faith in them than the others. So a lot of it is psyops, but I think like with anything, guys, there's one thing is taken, and it could be a small truth, and it's turned into a big lie. I've seen this many, 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 many times. What's your thought, Bruce?
I'm with you in that sense. And in the question, it says coming as sold to Patriots for 7 years. It's something is going to come. There is going to be some type of shift transition, but it's not as it's been sold to Patriots over this last 7 years. If nobody knows, really how it's going to end up shaking out. That's you can kind of read the tea leaves a little bit, and kind of speculate and have a viewpoint, unpopular as it might be. But yeah, there is going to be something happen, but not as sold.
Okay. Next question. Is there a legal process to remove those that aren't governing for we the people all at once?
Not that I am aware. Not all at once. It
Yeah,
would be a slow, very, very slow, multiple situation. That's one of the things I've been studying recently is treason and who actually pulls the trigger on saying it's Congress. So if Congress is guilty of treason, how can they call treason on themselves? So
right.
yeah, there has to be some other way that I am not aware of.
I think there's two ways that it could happen. Lloyd Brunson, on his original lawsuit, tried to get it done through the Supreme Court. I figured that's a maybe, but that's a very tight window to get that done. The reality is, if you want it to be all done at once, it would have to be a military operation for sure, based on treasonous behavior. That being said, I believe many people have already been taken off the map. I believe many people are wearing ankle bracelets. I believe there's still a whole deep state sector that's in there and probably negotiating some form of surrender. So that's why you still see them and they're still operating in a bad way. Um, the all at once thing, I don't even think would work for we the people. I think you'll see a lot of things like how many corporate executives when Trump came in did we just see disappear off the map? Boom, that was crazy, right? I can tell you firsthand knowledge and secondhand knowledge from people that are working directly with Hollywood types. Hollywood is a ghost town in comparison. So something did happen there. So, but that's what we know. We only want to go with what we know, and then we'll tell you if it's our opinion from there. So I don't know that there's a law in place unless you go with the military aspect, and then there is some executive orders and some other stuff that they can defer to. We'll see what they do. All right, next up, let's see here. By the way, guys, it has to be in caps or I'm not putting it up. Um, dun, dun, dun.
Tom had a question. It was way early on, almost at the beginning of the show. It was all in caps. I don't know if you can go back and catch Tom's.
It's hard. I can't, the way this is set up. Tom can repost it, though. Let's see. What do we have coming up here? Wow, the comments are flying through, but let's see. Questions here. Nope. I guess people are having a good time in chat talking to each other. So that's good. Here we go.
Yeah, Ethan's stirring the pot in there again.
Ethan, just stop. Ethan needs the attention. By the way, directly following this, we're going to simulcast. Ethan Lucas will be interviewing Steve Scott from Neumi. So we'll have it simulcast right on this channel right here and other channels. Okay. Any news on the border? Arkansas governor sent National Guard to Texas. Interesting. By the way, every governor has the right to do that. Whether they're going to jump in and do something, and they can do it under justification it helps save their state if they can stop people at the border. That's their justification for this. I think it's a great idea. I haven't heard much news on the border. I can tell you though, Saturday, the guy that I think has the most knowledge, Sean Wilson, he will be on the Truthathon, and we'll ask him specifically what's going on the border. So I would definitely defer to the Truthathon. In fact, I think I'll play this for you. Damn, that looks like a pretty cool event, if I do say so myself.
That was very nice. Your graphics team did a fantastic job on the video.
Yeah, our graphics team, Lisa Richards, did an amazing job on that video. She did fantastic. So, guys, that's coming Saturday. I believe we're starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, and we'll probably run until about 7 p.m. or whenever one stops talking. All right, let's go with, this is an interesting question, Brucey. Check this out. Do you think this is all running parallel with a long-awaited one world government? I absolutely think it does. It is. I'll go as fast as the gray hats know that the black hats use Babylonian black magic spell casting all the time. And one way to counter a spell is by doing a different spell. And I know a lot of people don't want to think this. They think it's not Christian, da 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 da. I think even Ethan would tell you that Jesus was casting spells in a way by the way he spoke. So I do think that they're running parallel. I think the two banking systems are running parallel. I believe everything is. My hope is that it's not just a choice or people go, oh, I want this one, right? Or I want that one. This is the one time I do want some intervention for sure, in order to say, we're going in this direction. This is a new banking system. This is the takedown. 95% of everything in government is gone. Corporations are going to be restructured, so on and so forth. But what's your thought, Bruce?
No, I believe, yeah, they are running parallel, and how it comes out into the public. That's what everybody's waiting for. That's what everybody's looking for. When is this, one gonna? We're at this on this scale thing. I envision this scale. We've got one world government, and then the freedom, and they're battling back and forth, and it has a lot to do with our own personal intentions, our own personal growth, our own personal connections, so that we can make those choices. Right? We need to make the choice. That's what this whole thing is about. We don't want to be told what to do. We want to have choices. And I don't know. I'm with Lewis. I don't think it's going to end up to be, yeah, you can be in this camp, in this country we're free and everybody else is one world government. I don't think it's going to end up like that. But yeah, there's things going along, because if everything just stopped all at once, people's heads would explode.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is an exercise in discernment and growth. And you you guys could tag anything you want to what they call ascension, whatever that means to you. That's great. There is an ascension process for sure with we the people right now. Absolutely. I think what we need to realize that we're operating, if we're going to be successful, with inside the quantum realm. And this is why the baddies have given us so much predictive programming and fear porn over the years, because I don't believe the baddies can manifest like we can. Therefore, they try to use us to manifest in mass. That's my feeling. So, but
Bingo.
but Bruce, with the emotions and riding the roller coaster, a lot of that has to do with because we probably are working on on a parallel system right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. You have choices to make. You have a choice, every single day of what you do, how you do it, with who you do it, and how you treat people, how you present yourself. I mean, there's it's all about our choices and the choices that we make. That's why I've been moving into the whole mindset situation and trying to understand who we are. This there's more about this awakening. It's not just awakening to the corruption. It's awake to who we really are, peeling back the layers of the onion. We're not who our parents think we are, or we're not who our spouses think we are, or we're supposed to be. Or we got to find out who we are, as individuals, by ourselves, and then we can move together forward in a better place. Sounds very woo woo, but I believe that's at the crux of most of what's going on.
Yep, yep. This is from our buddy Tom. What is your take on the Arizona indictments of the 18 Republicans? I'll let you go first. I have a very quick, but I do have a take on this.
Well, it's just more lawfare. I believe lawfare, and trying to using the system to inflict fear and intimidation upon people. Standing out. It's exposing the duplicity of our judicial system, because you can go. There's tons of videos. The internet's working forever, of Democrats, electors, ultimate electors for Democrats. There's multiple states now. It's another reason to try to take down Trump, because they can see all this other crap that they're trying to do in New York and in D.C. and in Georgia is crashing and burning. So they're trying to drag Trump down again. So that's my take.
Yep. Your mic's having a couple issues right now, Bruce. Just so you know, I don't. Your connection looks fine though. So my take on this is interesting. Well, so I say so myself. So, it says, what's your take on the Arizona indictments of the 18 Republicans? Well, I know a lot of warriors in Arizona, and this is probably going to upset them because they're really into the 3D narrative, and I understand, and they're fighting really hard. And you have to fight in 3D and what people call 5D, whatever you want to call it, right? You have to fight in the quantum, and you have to fight in our matrix that we're in right now, and that's what I think people are having trouble grasping. I believe this is absolutely optics, and this is to really expose and piss off people. But let's assume it's not optics. Bruce is right. It's lawfare, and this would mean it's just as good to me because it means the deep state is so desperate that they're trying to scare people in. Way, it's a huge win for us because it's a wake up call for we the people, and we the people are going to stand up, and we're not going to take it anymore. And this would be a great time to give you some breaking news in regards to this. Look at this. We did it. That's right. Oh, it's been over a year. It's been hell. It's cost me an absolute fortune for my wife and I. But the Freedom in Action app, the Patriot app that everybody's been waiting for, it is here and ready and available. That's right. You can go to screwbiggov.com, rememberyouroath.com, freedominaction.net. It's right there. You have to be on only Android now, guys. And this is beta, right? So you can go there, and we're looking for people to download it. Everybody should download it. And this is an amazing way for you to make a difference within your community or even nationwide, because it has a special geo-targeting aspect to it where you can select a zip code, and any from 10 miles to 4,000 miles, You can find out what's going on. We'll have events on there. If let's say you have want to get a bunch of people rallied up to go talk to the board of supervisors, this is where you're going to do it. I believe this is an absolute 100% game changer. We put our heart and soul in this. You guys get on there, start using it, play with it, and then email me with any issues because there will be some bugs, and we're going to get this honed in. And then when we do, guess what? We're putting it on. We've already applied for the applications on Google Play and iStore, I think it's called. I don't do iPhones. Anyways, don't know how long it'll stay up there, but this app is a game changer. We can make the difference now, and this bypasses all this BS. And I know right away people are going, how about militias? Let's form militias. Do whatever you want. Just know, make sure you do it under the Constitution, and let's not have any violence. These will be peaceful protests, peaceful organization. And I will be having a disclaimer on there too, honestly, to protect the people and to protect anybody that's involved in this app. Now, guess how much it's going to cost you? Zip, zero, zilch, zippo, the big goose egg, nothing, nada yet. It is free. I think we're over $20,000 already into this, and it doesn't matter. It's free to you guys. So you guys should absolutely enjoy. This is a kick-ass app. I'm very excited about it.
Shows you how much of a grifter you are.
I'm such a grifter, I know. Oh, give me the grifter meme of the week. All right, let's go to our next question. Oh, you may know more about this than me. Here you go. What are they hiding under Chernobyl?
I don't know.
I know you know, Bruce. I know.
never,
You came back.
if it was even real, there was. I mean, I've seen some different types of things. People living there have been living there the entire time. What's underneath it? I don't have any idea. That's way above my pay grade.
Yeah. And I don't know either, guys. Sorry, I wish I could give a better answer. But what I do believe is there's many situations like this that they cordon off an area to keep people away because something else is going on than what we believe is going on. I've seen some pictures, maybe that I shouldn't have seen, of the area, and it sure didn't look as damaged as they would proclaim it is. I think that's the best way to say it. And I saw the main building with the main silo, and it should, in my opinion, it should have been a lot worse off based on what we heard about it at the time.
Right. I mean, it's Godzilla's being nurtured underneath there to be able to release. Yeah.
Now,
Who knows? I don't.
honestly, I think if anything, that's most likely the truth right there.
Yeah.
I believe,
It's a new alien base.
yes, I believe in Gojira. Gojira is my friend. All right, what's up next? So funny. Our chat is never this active, so it's really easy to find questions, and now it's so active. It's tough. Thank goodness I can just look for whatever. Here we go. This is from Denise, our lovely Denise. Do you believe that Articles of Confederation have a key piece in bringing back the Republic? 100% yes. As it's written, what you said, 100% yes. I can't even expound on it. I would totally think so.
Yep. No, there's got to be a melding. We have to go back to the founding documents, and that was one of those founding documents. Jack Lander is the expert on those.
Yep, I agree. I think we may even go back as far as the Magna Carta and start looking at pieces from the Magna Carta. Obviously, our Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, Constitution, and the Articles of Confederation, AOC. Go figure. AOC, which she's an actress. So we'll see. I believe the original papers, though, are all we really need. It was the manipulation post 1871, I believe, is the problem. Some people it's even before, but I see the biggest manipulation 1871, then 1913, and then I think it was 1933-ish, maybe 31. And then after that, it's just been torn to bits. It's absolutely ridiculous. The amendments, most amendments should go.
Yeah, the constitutional amendments are unconstitutional.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see.
Everything beyond the 10th.
Yes, very good, very good. All right. Um, looking, guys, looking. Bruce, you go ahead and talk since I'm looking, if you don't mind.
Well, you had mentioned optics, and I would like to get a little better definition. We talked about this yesterday.
Hmm.
Optics. Okay, what are the optics for? Who are the optics for? And what is the purpose? We see optics. Can you expound on the way you mentioned it or described it to me yesterday on the phone about optics? Because we always hear about optics. It's all optics, isn't it? So what is that?
Yeah, it's a great question. In fact, it kind of will tie into the next question that's coming up on the screen here in a second. All right, so we know in order to get to where we are, the baddies have been using the whole conversation regarding the frog in the pot theory, where they put us in a pot of water, you slowly turn up the heat, and the frog boils itself and has no clue, never jumps out. If you were to throw a frog in a pot of boiling water, it would jump out immediately, right? But it's not jumping out because it doesn't know what it doesn't know. They're heating up slowly. That's how we got here. I wanted originally for everything just to be just come through your 3 day EAS, watching it on military television, and everything's going to be fine. But the reality is, I don't think that would have wakened most people up. I really don't think they would have bought it. So what I believe is being done is slowly reacclimating us to what has been done. So it's almost reversing the spell casting, one little chunk at a time. And I believe that has to be done, unfortunately, through optics. By the way, I don't like it. I should be very, very clear about that. I don't like the way the gray hats are operating, but I understand what they're doing. And those aren't mutually exclusive. You can not like it and still understand what they're doing. So I believe a lot of this stuff is put out there constantly as an optic, which means it could already be done, or it could be embellishing something, or even it could be fakery. Like, what would have the Democrats have done if they had this position, right? And then you put out this message, and this is what's helping people turn around, in my opinion. So ultimately, optics can be good or bad, but generally, I think the so-called good guys are using a lot of this to try to wake up we the people. And believe me, I understand it's hard. Like I say, this is a psyop built around a psyop with a psyop wrapped around it again, right? So it's really hard emotionally to deal with this, because remember, whatever we know, the baddies know. We have to understand that from a military standpoint. So that ties into this question. It says, "What are your thoughts on Kate Middleton?" You first. Knower of
Uh,
all royalty.
yeah. She appeared. She passed away. Whether it was from the jab or not, I don't know. They're taking now. She's come back after being disappeared. And then there's all these pictures that are AI that were even the AP said take it down, took down this picture because it was a fake picture, and so everybody's questioning. You can tell looking at her, there's some difference. So if it's a clone, it's a bad clone. So I believe that she's one of those people that's been taken out and another person put in place for the optics, situation.
Excuse me.
Whether she easy there, you got it. Okay, hold on, Lewis.
Everybody knows I drink heavily, so it's a mix of whiskey, vodka, tequila, rum, and a splash of Pinot Grigio. Or it's just tea. Anyways, yeah, it's Kate Middleton's an interesting situation. So talking about optics, so that kind of could be the bad guy optics, right? Like they're trying to pretend like she still exists. It's very weird. That's one of the weirdest situations I've seen out there. And if she's gone, they've completely mismanaged that. It's very, very, very odd. I personally think she's been gone a long time. I think she didn't cooperate with them. And it's all, by the way, it's already been proven that last video, the one that I saw that they put out where she was on a bench, it's already proven that the background was digitized and that actress was named. They literally found the actress that did that, named her, and showed her picture. And again, you know what the biggest one for me is? Royalty would never wear the same sweater twice, much less 7 years apart. And that she had the same sweater on that she had 7 years previous. So weird, weird, weird stuff for sure. All right. What else we got here? Let me do this
I
real
got that
quick.
got that thing, just so you know.
I know we got to get out of here in just a minute, folks. I just want to do this. Bruce, what could you tell me? And by the way, ignore the link on the screen real quick. But let's talk about, you told me that something wonderful has happened with your pets.
Yeah, we have two dogs. We have a 17-year-old Chug, a Chihuahua Pug mix. When we were traveling on the Truth Tour, our children were watching the dog, and they didn't want to. They got to a point they didn't want to watch her because they were laying around just lethargic, nothing. Got turned on to the Pet Club 247. Started her on the mushroom stuff. Started with the super sauce, and now we've transitioned into all of it. And good grief, she's come here, Cookie. Here.
And Bruce is off. There he
So yeah,
is.
here this is Cookie.
Aw.
Yeah, so Cookie's the older one, but she's playing around with the new one, Rue. Rue is the younger one, and these two play with each other instead of her just laying around. And she's becoming youthful again. She still's got some hip issues because that's just a Chihuahua thing, and they're 17 years old. But I mean, it's getting better. Before she could hardly get around. We have to lift her up everywhere and carry her. Now she can running and all kinds of stuff. So it's been super helpful for her. So I suggest, I mean, even just getting the super sauce, that's probably one of the things to start into the process, and it's because of the Coriolis versicolor mushroom.
Yep.
So go there, go to the website, check it out,
The
do
link
your own
below,
research.
petclub247.com, and you can, if you just go there without putting the extension to the link, you can find Bruce, find Lewis, find anybody you want on there too. Okay, last, there was a follow-up question, guys. We're done with questions. A lot of them we're not going to get to. Apologize for that, but we have to cut it short because we're moving over to Ethan's show right here on this channel in just a moment. The question was, could Kate could Kate be under protection from the White Hats? Yeah, could have been. Maybe they grabbed her, and then now the Windsors were scrambling. They didn't know what to do, and they had to put out a different narrative. So maybe that's true. Don't know. And then one of our favorite people, also AKA Hobbit. Last but not least, let's go quick on this. Thoughts on time travel, Bruce?
I believe it can be done.
Okay.
I don't know how, but there's just my gut, my intuition, the deep inside me says yes, it can be done, and there people are doing it.
So I did a video on time travel, which I convinced myself that it can be done. If you look at the travels of Baron Trump, it appears maybe that it can be done. And then if you add one thing in, is I was told by somebody a while ago that the good guys, they called them the White Hats, are running millions of scenarios over and over and over and over in order to determine what decisions and what are they going to do. I did not like that at first. In fact, I pushed back and I said, well, that just means we took away all our discernment. The only way that would make sense to me and being okay is if they were using Project Looking Glass, which can look into the future and see the outcome and then make a decision based on that. That would be the only way I would even come close to accepting it. So maybe it does exist. Don't know. That's just a thought. Guys, that does it for today. I have to get in real quick and make some adjustments and come right back this channel in a few minutes, and you'll be able to see Ethan Lucas interviewing Stephen Scott from Neumi. They'll go into a lot more than just Neumi, by the way, but if you want to learn about glutathione, there's no better way. Bruce, love you very much, brother. We'll see you Saturday on the Truthathon. Guys, go download that app. Go to screwbiggub.com and download that app. This is the time for us to make a difference. God bless everybody. I'm not going to play the outro today, guys. Sorry, we ran out of time for that as well. See you soon. Bye-bye.